Okay, imagine this for a second. What if your words weren't just sounds? What if they were like threads that could actually weave reality?
Mm,
Or what if your intuition could guide how you communicate, leading to these really profound changes?
that's a powerful idea.
It is, right? So today we're doing something a bit different, a deep dive, where we're blending insights from two really interesting places. First, an astrological reading focused on communication.
From Terra by High C, yeah.
Exactly. And second, this amazing sci-fi story called The Song of Aetheris, where words literally do spin reality.
Wow, okay.
So our mission really is to explore how things like imagination, intuition, and maybe even radical honesty in how we talk, how that can lead to transformation, personally, but also maybe for whole communities. All right, let's get into this.
Yeah, and what's really compelling, I think, is how these two sources, one, mystical, ancient feeling, the other totally futuristic, they seem so different, but they actually converge.
Converge on what exactly?
Yeah. On this powerful idea about connection and courage. We're going to look at how unlocking our potential often comes down to, well, clear and compassionate self-expression.
Okay.
It sort of suggests that the darkness or the limits we feel, maybe they're not external things. Maybe they're more internal.
I know.
And overcoming them means shifting how we communicate, fundamentally.
That's a great way to frame it. Okay, so let's start with the astrology side. The insights for June 26, 2025 from Tarot by High C.
Mm-hmm.
The main themes here, they're all about, well, magical thinking, intuition, imagination, and also communicating with real compassion, empathy.
Right?
It's pushing us to expand our minds, to think about possibilities we haven't considered, to leave behind old limits, old boundaries that just don't fit anymore.
Letting go of the old stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it nudges us towards connecting with a higher purpose, creating harmony, all through being open-hearted in how we communicate,
Mm.
being authentic.
Authenticity is key there.
Totally. But interestingly, it also describes this tension,
Hmm.
astrologically speaking.
Ooh,
What kind of tension?
like a pull between wanting love and validation from others.
The need to belong.
Right. Versus our own deep need for individual expression, for creativity.
That classic push-pull.
Yeah. So the question it kind of poses for you listening is, how do you find that balance
Yeah.
between giving and receiving, compromising versus asserting your own needs? It's tricky.
It is tricky, and that tension you mentioned, it's so relatable, and it ties directly into something the astrology calls the Mercury trine Neptune aspect.
Okay, Mercury trine Neptune. What does that mean in plain English?
Well, think of it like a helpful cosmic alignment. It makes our thoughts and words feel especially intuitive, inspired, almost like having a direct line to your inner wisdom.
Oh, interesting.
So this influence, it suggests really visionary thinking, inspired communication, where your intuition and creative imagination are really firing.
So good ideas flowing. Exactly. It reinforces that idea that, a bit of ingenuity, a bit of creativity, it can take you a really long way. And under this influence, the text says, words can genuinely flow like honey.
Flow like honey. I like that image.
Me too. And the advice is pretty clear. Be open. Open to communicating in new ways, maybe unusual ways. It strongly discourages being cagey or, secretive.
So transparency is good here.
Very much so. Openness is encouraged, and it highlights all that openness can achieve when, you use it wisely. And if you think bigger picture, this isn't just your daily horoscope, right?
Right.
It points to a deeper principle about the actual energy behind our words and how that energy can either, free us or hold us back.
Okay, that idea. Words flowing with power, the need for openness that sets things up perfectly for the other source.
The story.
Yeah, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Because the story of the day for 28 June 2025, the Song of Aetheris, it just illustrates these kind of abstract ideas so beautifully.
Okay, paint the picture for us.
All right, so picture this world, Aetheris. It's a crystalline planet, all veiled in shimmering mists. And here, sound has power. Words literally spin realities.
Oh, literally.
Literally. The people there, the Vela, they're born with voices that can weave thought into matter. Their language isn't rigid, it's fluid, shaped by pure emotion, intent, the rhythm of the cosmos.
So not just grammar and syntax.
Not at all. We're talking like a simple phrase spoken with the right feeling could heal a broken heart, or, flip side, summon a storm,
That gives watch your words a whole new meaning.
doesn't it? Makes you think twice.
Absolutely. And central to their world, there was something called the living archive.
Okay, what was that?
Imagine a sentient cloud made of memory and myth floating above their capital city, Velere.
A sentient cloud.
Yeah, and it sang these ancient songs. It was their oracle, their mentor, this vast living tapestry of knowledge, prophecy, forgotten truths.
Incredible.
But there was a problem. Recently, its voice, its song, had started to get faint. And whispers were spreading, whispers of a silencing darkness.
A silencing darkness. Ooh.
It raises a big question, right? What causes a source of wisdom like that to start dimming? Is it some external enemy or something else?
That's the central mystery. And right in the middle of this uncertainty, we meet our protagonist, Aelion Marin.
Okay.
He's an orphan, son of a star mage, and he's a word shaper with this incredibly rare talent. His words didn't just describe things, they transformed them.
How?
By speaking these ancient glyphs-like powerful symbols from their deep history out loud, he could actually reshape space-time around him.
Whoa, that's some serious power.
Right. Most people were terrified to use power like that. They spoke carefully, cautiously. But Aelion, the story says he just dreamed aloud.
He wasn't afraid?
Nope. He wasn't afraid to let his deepest thoughts just become real, whatever the consequences.
And it was that openness, that willingness to dream aloud that led him to have this profound vision.
What did he see?
He saw this vast silver serpent made of light, shimmering with ancient wisdom, and it carried a message, but not in words, more like pure feeling. Yeah. And the feeling spoke of a lost name, a forgotten syllable. If someone spoke this syllable openly, it would rekindle the archive's fading voice.
Okay, so there's a solution. But I sense a but coming.
There's a big but, a huge cost. Uttering this word, this lost name, it would reveal the absolute deepest truths of the speaker's heart.
Everything.
Everything, leaving them completely bare, emotionally naked before the living archive and every single person who heard it.
Wow. So, total vulnerability.
Exactly. And this mirrors that astrological tension we talked about, doesn't it?
Between wanting validation and needing to express yourself.
Precisely. But here, the stakes are just cosmically high. Aelion's entire inner world, every secret hope, every fear, every longing exposed. For everyone.
And that must have been terrifying in their society, right? You mentioned masks earlier.
Oh, absolutely. The societal barrier was huge. Council law strictly forbade that kind of open speech because on Aetheris, secrets were like currency. Masks were worn in conversation, in court, everywhere. It was the norm.
So everything was about being guarded.
Completely. Yet, this call to speak the lost name, Aelion found it irresistible. He knew he had to do it.
So the climax. It happens on the night of the Mercury Veil. Now, hang on. Mercury's Veil. Does that connect to the astrology? Mercury trine Neptune.
Oh, it absolutely does. That's a fantastic connection. Mercury Veil. It sounds like a perfect narrative echo of that Mercury trine Neptune energy.
How so?
Well, just like the astrology suggests, the veil things between our conscious mind and intuition, making communication fluid and revealing. In Aetheris, on this night, the veil between thoughts literally thinned.
Ah, okay. Beautiful parallel.
Isn't it? So on that night, the planet's rings are shimmering, this veil between minds is thin. Aelion stands before the silent archive. The elders are chanting warnings.
You can feel the tension.
Oh, yeah. And the word scribes, the people who record the Vela's powerful speech, they're clutching their ink staves just filled with dread.
What does Aelion do?
He shows incredible courage. He doesn't speak cautiously. He uses the ancient tongue, the language of the very first starfarers, a language of pure intent. And the word, the lost name, it leaves his lips like liquid gold. It hangs in the air, this spiral of luminous script just pulsating with raw, honest truth.
And the archive.
The archive, which had been dimming for so long, it shudders. And then it sings, a powerful, resonant song.
It worked.
It was the ultimate response, wasn't it, to true, unmasked, vulnerable expression.
So what was the impact? What happened when the archive sang again?
It was profound. A wave of harmonious sound just burst out. A tide of long-lost wisdom flooded the minds of all the Vela.
Instantly.
Instantly. And in that moment, secrets just dissolved. Hearts bared themselves without shame. That illusion of being separate, guarded individuals, it just fell away.
Wow.
For the first time in ages, the people spoke openly, sharing their fears, their hopes, their longings, without any shame.
So this one act of radical honesty just change everything? How do we understand that?
Well, it reveals the surprising truth, doesn't it? The darkness they feared, it wasn't some external monster.
Wasn't
No, it was the calcification of their own guarded hearts. It was the result of everyone holding back, being secretive, building
So the
walls.
problem was internal all along.
Exactly. And from that day, Aetheris became a world without masks. And remember that phrase from the
Or
astrologer?
words flowed like honey.
Precisely. Their communication truly started to flow like honey. It wove new alliances, healed ancient wounds. It even opened up channels to, like, long-forgotten beings and other
That's
dimensions.
amazing. And Aelion.
Aelion Marin became a legend, known as the speaker of the true tongue. A mythic figure, yeah, but also a potent reminder that in this universe full of mysteries, sometimes the most radical, powerful act isn't inventing something new. It's just honest expression.
Wow.
And the archive, it kept singing, ever brighter, forevermore. It just raises this vital question, I think. If guarded hearts lead to silence and darkness, what incredible things might happen when we truly open them, when we let ourselves be seen and heard?
That's, yeah. This whole deep dive, mixing the astrology, this ancient wisdom, with a story from the future, it really hammers home the power, almost the magic, of being vulnerable, of authentic communication.
It really does.
Both sources, in their own way, point towards openness. And this really profound idea that maybe our biggest barriers, they're the ones we build inside ourselves.
Internal constructs.
The astrology suggests that when we communicate with vision, with compassion, our words can flow like honey, leading to amazing things. And then the Song of Aetheris just shows us what that looks like, writ large, on a cosmic scale.
A vivid illustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It leaves us thinking about that phrase, words flowing like honey, and what that could mean in our own lives, our own conversations.
And maybe taking that one step further, if the real darkness on Aetheris was just the hardening, the calcification of guarded hearts, maybe consider what silences might exist in your own world, in your relationships, what lost names, what unspoken truths are waiting, and what might happen if they were expressed. With courage, with authenticity, could they make things sing? Not just brighter, but maybe forevermore for you.